Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with basically a professional Grand Arena player that only plays for fun, though. This is Kin. He has ranked anywhere from the top 2 to top 100 in the past few months. I don't know what he was doing before Datacrons, but he makes great use of them. And this is the first instance of a series we're going to try to be doing like every month or so called GAC Zone. And we're still working out the kinks of exactly what we want to do with it, but today we're just going to be watching some of his footage. He doesn't put his footage on YouTube, so this is the only place you're going to see it. I mean, if he puts this on his YouTube too, you'll see it there too. But this is just an inside look at some top level play, much higher than me. And we're going to talk about decision making and team choice and datacrons and all that stuff. So, Kim, thanks for joining.
My pleasure. Being professional, does it mean I get money at some point? Or that just like a title I
It
can
just
give
means how
myself?
good you are.
Oh,
It's made up professional. In your own mind, in my mind, you're a professional.
okay. I'll
You're a
now
pro.
consider myself a professional as well. Thanks for the strategy to pump up my morale there. Um, all right. So we can go ahead and get started. Yes, I do play for fun. And here is a very fun fight, I think. This is a pretty typical counter EP versus GAC, or EP Star Killer versus GAC.
Yeah.
Let's go through the datacrons really quick. Nothing special. Here's the one that I'm
100%
using on
defense.
that they're using on their team. This is the GAF team.
Mm-hmm.
So nice, but nothing crazy. Mine has decent crit damage, but that's about it.
Yeah.
The fight is relatively
I missed it.
straightforward
Did it have the
here.
turn meter gain for level 3?
Yes, it did.
Okay.
We'll go
So who do
back
you have
here.
going first?
Before I went into the fight, I wasn't sure. I think it's Mara Jade.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's Mara Jade, but we'll find out together in a moment because I forget. I
Yeah.
mean, this fight doesn't really even need anybody to go first because they didn't have a go first, and it's anyway they're all
Yeah.
light side, so it wouldn't really matter.
So it was
Nope,
actually
it's EP.
Palpatine. Yeah, because I did this fight in a recent match too, and I like tested an arena to see who's going first because it looked like Marjay was weakest. But I had like old Ben as my normal light side
Hmm.
Jedi, and he was actually weakest. So for that
Oh,
fight,
really?
I brought in Barris instead. So because my old Ben is modded terribly, which actually helped me in my last match against Ray because he went first and mind tricked everyone. She never even got lifeblood off. So I
Oh,
like
that's
it for
clever.
yeah, I like it for that. I mean, it was accidentally clever because it was just poor modding on him. But I also did this against Gas. It had 300% defense, and I literally almost died multiple times. It was pretty bad.
Yeah, this fight is actually pretty easy.
Yeah.
I went in this fight for banners. That's why I brought GK,
Hmm.
because it's not necessarily, it doesn't increase my banners. Like I get the banners from dropping the ship at the right time, which actually
Yeah.
I'm not even sure that I do here, but it prevents crits
Yeah. Yeah.
in
With
that
that
case.
crit immunities passing out.
Yeah, in this case though, it didn't work. Although
Hmm.
in the end, it sort of worked out for me because I can stall and now I get up to 100 charge and able
Nice.
to heal everybody to full.
Yeah,
So
it's
pretty
almost
easy.
nice when they have a little bit of defense because you can stall out. If they're too weak, you like lose or you win before you can do the Star Destroyer, and it's suboptimal.
Yeah, exactly. So that was nice, easy 65, or that might have been 75. I think was the first fight of the match.
Yeah, it was
Um,
perfect.
in this fight, this is a Star Killer, or yeah, Star Killer with a Savage lead. Not a particularly amazing comp, actually. In a lot of cases,
Yeah.
I would use bounty hunters,
Uh-huh.
but I think I had bounty hunters planned for a different team.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, pretty decent Datacron. The defense is nice. And yeah, I just use C. In most of my C fights, I only use C because I have a couple of like decent armor
Uh-huh.
Datacrons. And although I don't show it in this particular match, I actually do not have a health modded C.
Hmm.
I have a protection and speed modded C.
That's interesting.
Um,
going against
I
the
could, I
conventional.
Yeah, I've ran that actually since the very beginning when C was mostly used with Watt to counter Ray.
Oh, nice.
Um, but I'm a big fan of it, like mathematically, especially in today's meta when so many things are percentage health based, which
Mm-hmm.
GLs take less damage from, but they take damage.
Yeah.
A lot of people run protection, and when you have a faster C, your overall long-term maximum health and protection pool together is higher, and your regeneration is more when you have a protection and speed modded. See,
Yeah. Yeah.
you just lose some of the initial burst, but in a
Yeah.
fight like this,
Yeah,
it's
there's
sort of
not a ton of
immaterial
like
because you,
crippling debuffs, so you don't really need Watt.
yeah, and the protection or health in this particular case really didn't make any difference because it's just going to be a 68.
Yeah, I tried pure health modding on him for a while, and I hated it. Like it didn't work well at all. Like when I'm without trying to get a ton of speed, I went back to a speed health build. I mean, mine's not amazing.
Cool.
I have a pretty bad mod pool. Like it's not very deep. I have like just over 406 dots, and like I'm always struggling based on good primaries. I like if someone needs health, I'm like, oh dang it, because I just don't have enough good health primaries. So I love whenever I can do protection on someone because it's way easier with 5 dots.
Yeah. And in a way, that's actually yeah, exactly. You only get like 0.5%
Mm-hmm.
difference. And that's one of the coolest things, well, in your case at least, in terms of like mod death, is because so much now penalizes high health. All of the dots that are out there, torture,
Yeah.
the various, what is it besides dots and torture? Oh yeah, the percentage health stuff from something
Yeah,
like courage.
burning. Yeah, courage. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff, which is another reason I like it. Like Sith Trooper and like fives in particular are very nice for that because they just have barely any health and such high protection. And I noticed like
Yeah.
if I go against Padme, it's like it's not doing that much.
And especially in matchups where you have GK as your tank,
Mm-hmm.
when he gets focused, having a big protection or protection defense pool is pretty nice in many cases.
Yeah, I still do health on him just because I pretty much always have him under JMK, but I made him really slow because I want him to keep that damage immunity a long time.
Yeah, having him slow is very helpful.
Mm-hmm.
So here's actually where I planned on using my bounty hunters, which is why I didn't use them against Savage. This is like a mediocre Phasma team, but it does have the first order TIE Pilot Omicron.
Yeah.
And with Kylo and Phasma in here, I think it would have been better with Faust because you get additional 30% TM. But with Kylo and Phasma, you have like I think an 85% or 90% TM train.
Yeah.
With the basic here, even in GAC.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a pretty decent Datacron. I would not
This
get
is
it.
This is my bounty hunter one. It was meant more for fighting against Lord Vader, but no one replaces him on defense these days.
Yeah, like you got the tenacity up one. I've found that's the best for that matchup too against Lord Vader.
Yeah, that's Aura, not Aura, but yeah, Fennec stacks so much.
Yeah.
So this fight, I think, is pretty straightforward. I also have compared to this opponent, there's a bit of a, well, in most of these fights, not a relic advantage, but I have a bit of a mod advantage on him. So my characters, I would say, in general, have about maybe one more 6E mod than his do, like overall.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. So this was a little interesting because they had the damage immunity.
Yeah.
But once Phasma's gone.
Yeah, you don't have many dispels on this team.
Yeah.
Froze for me for a sec.
Just boss.
So, what's your most popular use of bounty hunters on offense? Or what do you find yourself using them against the most?
In the first week of this Datacron combination, I use them here. I use them against another Savage Starkiller team. I think that's a pretty effective use in general.
Mm-hmm.
And the third time, they just sat on my bench and I never used them.
Dang.
So I don't know, to be honest. Like, I think they're great. The problem is, at least, well, we're fighting. I think right now this team is like in the 70s or 80s or something. I'm not very high up. Not
Yeah.
in the top 50, which changes the math quite a bit. But I think in the top
Yeah.
50, it's hard to find a place to use bounty hunters
Yeah.
just because.
It's either
No, go
like
ahead.
overkill or it can't do it, or it can't get the job done.
Yeah. I've been thinking about putting them on defense, but unless you put something else to take away like CLS or I don't know, like the. Actually, I think the team here that I'm fighting probably could have killed my team if mine was on defense
Yeah.
because AI
Well,
is just sort of stupid.
if you put it on defense, I don't know about you, but I've been doing that and I've been using Boss Lead because it's just I think people aren't used to seeing it and it is pretty tough, so they have to figure out something to take it out. And I think like troopers can do it, but there's other stuff on my wall that people might want it for. They might be worried that there's Lord Vader in the back, which there might be. So they'll want to save troopers. Um, but yeah, I'm just doing that because a lot of times I end up not needing them on offense, and I hate seeing a great team on the bench still after I clear. So when that happens, I just start moving them to defense.
Yeah, it's an interesting place because especially with the 20% TM, the 20% weakest, you get a good speed boost, and you put
Yeah,
that on top of ZAM. So you just have to sort of balance the stack a little bit and make sure you have
yeah.
probably. Well, that's.
Well, I have
I think
Mando
that's
going
sort of.
first.
Yeah, I think that's how I have mine set up now as well, because he's more likely to come around to the end since he grants TM,
Hmm.
and you can get both grief and
Yeah, and if
frost going a bit
and if
faster.
he's smart and he targets Fennec with his assist and he targets the weakest, then that could be like 60% contract right there. But I don't know what he actually does on defense. This
Yeah, I
match you're
think
about
it's.
to do, I thought it was interesting that he placed that team because that looks to me when I see Palpatine and Mara Jade without Starkiller, even sometimes with Starkiller, it's just like a sitting duck for what you're using, which is First Order Hux
Yeah,
lead.
it it looks like he had a team.
Sorry about that, guys. We had a technical issue and dropped, but we're back. So yeah, let's roll this fight.
Yeah, and we were just saying, or I was just saying that it looked like this was a team they had in from season 4 with the Empire
Mm,
cooldown, but they added another Datacron, and I agree. It just seems like it's asking to be. I don't know. Hux is like the easy answer to this.
yeah,
But I'm curious now in hindsight what the counter looks like on GG,
yeah,
whether it actually got some holds.
yeah. I don't know.
Uh,
I mean, Hux like shutting down the turn meters. This is one of the best uses of it because Hux. I mean, he doesn't usually have a super durable team, but this, if you can just shut down their turn meter, that's all you need against Palpatine Marjade.
yeah, and this is like a super quick fight too,
Mm-hmm.
because they had no other way of generating turn. I don't even think they take a turn, or maybe they take one turn,
Yeah.
but it's over pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's exactly the first move I always do is just send it all on Margie and she just goes down. Yeah, I
It's very
love
satisfying.
it's very satisfying. I love this team. I mostly only get to use it in threes. In 5v5 I need Hux and like basically just Hux against Jabba. Because I use Slicker for Jabba, so I can't really use this in fives, and I don't really see a ton of teams that this could take out in fives. But in 3v3, I love using it a lot. Just Hux, Sith Trooper, and First Order TIE Pilot.
Yeah, Do you, we're getting to a horrible fight here. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's what it's
Uh,
gonna run.
do you use the SLKR Datacron in your SLKR versus Java fights, or do you have a Hux Datacron?
SLKR, I don't have Hux Datacron.
Hmm,
Kind of a poor man with Datacrons. I have what I'm given. So I never. And my Hux isn't Relic 7 anyway. Like, I just don't feel like taking them
I
there. I know
gotcha.
that it's probably better, but I make do without it. I have the offense. The level 3 is the tenacity and potency, and the level 6 is damage immunity. I did it
Oh, that's
wrong
nice.
against one opponent last round, but I I figured out what I did wrong. I didn't have my best Datacron for it because the one I use has 80% health. So that's really the key for me too. That's like by far my best health Datacron. But now it
That's
looks pretty
huge.
smooth
Yeah.
when I go against it. Yeah, and it was. I mean, I can only reroll the ones I actually take to 9, which isn't many, and I just got lucky with some of those rerolls.
Do you normally take them up to like 8 or 6 or something like that? Or
8 is my sweet spot. If you look at my profile, I just have tons of 8s. My goal based on 3v3 is to have like 16 level 8s in each, just
oh,
so I can
nice.
help bridge the gap to the next round. But in 3v3, like the first round of 3v3 of a new set, I just gotta like sprint to grab as many Datacrons as I can and get them up because you just don't have any. I wish the new sets were rolled in with 5v5 because then you wouldn't be as penalized as much for not having half of a collection because you only need
Hmm.
less. You need less. You need like 11 on defense and theoretically only 11 on offense. But in 3v3, you need like 15 offense, at least 15 defense, and then you're more starved for them. But I actually take advantage of that because I just sprint the first week of Conquest to grab as much as I can. And a lot
Yeah.
of people that first week don't have as many.
That's interesting. Actually, I like that they're in 3v3 first instead of 5v5 because I think that in 5v5, from a strategy perspective, it's more important to have the right datacrons, or certain teams are really looking for certain datacrons, I think. Whereas in
Yeah.
3v3, you can do a lot with whatever you got. I mean, I feel there's more flexibility
Yeah.
to change things up a little bit rather than in 5v5 where there's
Yeah.
not enough flexibility. But I definitely see what you're saying as well. Like
Yeah,
there's
for
definitely
you,
more
I can
needed in
understand
3v3.
why that's fine because I think you have a bigger stash in each particular set. But I'd like go for the efficiency. Like I only want to have what I can use max. So like when one set expires, the other set only has like I don't know 16 level 8 and above, and then a few level 3s. So I have a lot of teams that don't have any in 3v3.
Mhm.
But
Gotcha. Yeah, I definitely have more data crowns. I only do I do 100 crystal refreshes for
yeah, I do
farming.
that too. At least
But
in the
that's really
first
it. I
week.
don't spend any crystals on packs or anything like that.
Do you get data cache with crystals?
Um, yes, sometimes I do in the store. I do
Yeah.
sometimes spend crystals on the. Well, no, that's. Let me rephrase that. Every single set at the very beginning of the set, I will use the store to buy materials.
Hmm.
I mean, I don't buy the packs, but the ones that are available in the Datacron portion of the store, the weekly reset ones,
Yeah.
the beginning of the Datacron set, I do buy stuff there with crystals.
Interesting.
So I guess it's sort of the same as buying packs, but I just like to
Yeah.
sort of head start at the beginning as well.
Yeah. Okay. So this
So
this team you're facing, that's a lot of health.
yeah, it's a lot of health. And before I even went into this fight, I knew there was a chance of it failing.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know how terrible it would end up being. I'm sure that I misplayed this in multiple places, but the main issue is that their JMK is slower than my JML, and their cat is faster than my JKR.
To me,
So,
that's ideal setup.
okay,
So you want if your
go for it.
JML is faster, you can just do the like mind trick thing on like Padme or GK, so they don't have a cleanse. Um, Either one would probably be fine. And you really having their cap faster than your Giant Revan is the best because they get to go. They waste their jump on
Annihilate.
JML, and then you get to mark them for the maximum amount of time. If your JK is faster, you either have to decide whether you want to swap turn meter to get slower or mark her, and then you're only going to have the mark for like one turn. But you really need, since there's DK there, you need to keep the mark on her as long as possible. So the ideal is like Cat goes and then JKR goes immediately after that. To me, that always works well. When that's
Well,
the
then let me
setup, it's an
rephrase
easy win.
that. My setup was perfect, but I had been drinking heavily before this fight, and I,
Okay.
no, 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 I didn't. That's not true. I just misplayed.
Gotcha.
Um, so my Datacron is just protection,
60% protection?
basically.
Yeah. Yeah, let's roll. I want to
Well,
see how this goes again.
not well. Not well
Yeah.
at all.
So I just want to see what you end up doing.
I think my opening, I don't use the middle JML middle special at all, where I should have used it on Padme.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, I just went
that's
for
an okay use, but I mean, they just get she heals back up right away. Okay, yeah, that's actually
yeah.
perfect timing with Jedi Knight Revan. Another thing I didn't like that you didn't do, you never spread the buffs. Like, I know he doesn't get the turn meter,
Hmm.
but like right there, he's got crit immunity, defense up. That's huge, and you had a problem with surviving. So like just to
Yeah.
get the
Oh, that's an
buffs,
excellent point.
yeah. So I wouldn't like spam it every time because he's not getting turn meter, but like definitely spread the protect or defense and crit immunity up.
Yeah, that was definitely a big misplay. I think I was thinking more about getting to JML's alt rather than
Yeah,
surviving, which was not the correct choice, obviously.
yeah, and yeah, you want to do that, but and like in that case, just keep it running. But like it was
Well, I
dispelled
was
from
just,
JML anyway. What's that?
yeah, I was just going to say here, I specifically didn't swap to JKL to stun because I know that JMK will alt at half rather than full.
Yeah. Yeah, that this
So
was
he
a good move.
goes.
Like waiting, letting him use it, and then stun. Yeah, that's perfect.
So at this stage, I thought things were going all right. I was like, okay,
Yeah,
everything is sort of how I was thinking it in my head. And then here I should have spread for sure.
yeah,
Here, I don't think I should have swapped. I should have kept going for cat because I just beat up
yeah,
my JML.
yeah. I used the swap on JKR as just a means to get back to a good ability. Like there, if you had just used your granted ability first, then you'd be able to swap to someone else to get back to it faster.
And I shouldn't have used AoE here either because I just
Yeah,
got
because yeah,
counterattacked.
you're getting in for a world of pain with all that retribution.
And there goes, well, not, yeah, Savior. That was Savior on GMY.
Yeah,
And they all ignore taunt now.
yeah.
Yeah, and
And it
here's
takes you.
where, no, go ahead.
I was gonna say it took you a while to get the JMK type savior off a cat. Like by the time you got it, I thought you already had it, and I was like, oh, he's got this, but it still hadn't done. And that's probably a lot because of the health. They do have a ton of health, so it is a tough match.
Yeah, and there's one part here where I think the next kill when GMY dies, I thought he was gone for good because I thought Cat killed him, and they have the no revive cron,
Yeah,
but I think it was probably the other Ahsoka.
yeah,
So here, I probably should have swapped to JKL to stun
hmm.
instead of Mark.
Yeah. I mean, this does you do get pretty close to pulling it off. Just need a little bit more on cat.
I really thought things were going well, even here. And then,
Another thing I do, I'd like to get that Luke's first ability off on JML, so he's getting some counters.
yeah, I probably should have done that.
But yeah, it hurts because you are pretty close, and then people start going down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
here's where it's like, oh shit. I think I do get one Jolie res off though.
you do. Yeah, I was watching this. I was really worried about Jolie. I was like, come on.
My Jolie is only R5 as well.
Oh, nice.
Mediocre mod.
Wow.
It's not great.
Well, I actually have an R7 Jolie.
I noticed that in one of your videos recently, and that's a good investment. It reminds me of, he was like one of my probably like top 10 relic characters way
Yeah, at the
back when they
beginning.
introduced relics.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's when
Yeah,
GG was really powerful.
yeah, he's the second relic I ever applied.
Oh,
But I
cool.
went Yoda and then Jolie. But I had a smaller account. I had like a 7-month-old account, free account, and everyone was freaking out
Oh,
about
wow.
relics, but I was celebrating because I like that helped me get from top 50 to 100 to top 20 to 50, and then when I got JKR unlocked, I started getting number one with cooperation. But that was when it was just
Awesome.
full Sith Empire in arena.
Yeah, that was a messy time.
Hmm.
So I got frustrated with JML versus JMK, so I just brought in a mirror with a
Yeah.
crappier tank. Nothing particularly special. We both have no revive crons, I think. Nope. Never mind. I put blind. I don't think I think I used my no revive cron on defense, or both of them on defense. In
Hmm.
this fight, I think I had two at lock or something. And
Yeah.
in this fight, the way that I normally, well, honestly, I hardly ever do this fight. It used to be a common thing in arena,
Hmm.
and in that case, I would just trade tanks and then focus cat.
Hmm.
But here, I take a long time thinking like, well, I want to be extra safe because the cat has a lot of health and Padme is pretty fast, and so in the end, I let them eat my poor guardian, and I go straight for cat after JMK does a half ult.
Yeah.
And the only reason I targeted GK there is because everybody else has foresight.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah.
So
Did you have R2D2 available in offense?
nah, he was on defense.
Yeah.
I was actually, that's my first thought, because he was fast enough, or my cat was fast enough to go
Yeah.
before their cat. So it
Yeah.
would have been an easy 45.
Yeah. So I mean, I agree with what you did here. Well, I hate doing the half ult, but in the long run, it is more clean. It's like a more sure win, but it's just pretty messy until you get there.
Yeah,
It is
I just
painful to have
wanted,
to use JMK and JML on one team, though. That was a rough
oh,
fight.
it's terrible. I ended up losing this fight because I dropped too many times.
Uh,
And it's a really, against this guy, I shouldn't have lost, just in terms of available teams and strength
hmm.
and stuff. But man, I misplayed the crap out of this match.
Dang.
It's
Yeah,
pretty
that's
bad.
tough.
There's, yeah, it makes week two really easy though. I start, I think I'm,
Yeah, there's always that upside. Every loss brings you closer to your next win, and vice versa with this setup.
yeah. It's also interesting. I sort of like the beginning. I didn't show all my defense in in these videos, but I really
Hmm.
enjoy the first week where you just put some nonsense. Like I put Imperial Troopers on defense.
Did they get any
Um,
holds?
nope, they did
Yeah,
not.
I didn't think so. Not at a high level. At a lower
No.
rank, that'd probably trip some people up.
Yeah, it's basically, that's what I was hoping for, is that some people would be as distracted or not paying as much attention as I
Hmm.
do sometimes, and you get a lucky holder there or there. But
Yeah,
it,
yeah. I'm always
it was
surprised the
also,
teams I have that do get holds. I won my last match because someone timed out with Wampa against Sortie, and that was the only
oh
drop on
wow.
land. And they went through everything else, all my strong teams, and then I was like, okay, this is over. Then they dropped there.
How do you have your shorty modded, or who else is on the team?
I mean, it's health, but it's R5, and I don't know, I just don't have the best mods available. I think I have BB8, R2, T3, and IG88. There was like
Okay.
a little bit of defense on the Datacron, but it wasn't like one of my best ones, so I was pretty surprised. Uh,
Nice. Those are always, I'll take those any day of the week.
yeah, and they also lost a Holdo
Yeah.
in fleets somehow. They set their good fleets, but they were, I
They
think,
they lost two
two.
Holdo?
Yeah, the Radis. the resistance fleet. I think because I had seen the score right before they got to fleets, and if they averaged like 75 or 76, they'd win. So they're probably trying to like major undersize.
Mm,
So that's probably why.
two
But
man.
yeah, or something. They had a lower
I
star
actually.
profundity, which really helped me out in that case because they had that on
Oh,
offense.
nice. Yeah, you lose a lot with the lower star. You lose.
Hmm.
I forget the ability. It's the cleanse on the second reinforcement. I think you don't get. Okay, so this fight was later on when I was doing fights, and
Hmm.
I missed to record some of them. This one I really wish I'd recorded from the beginning. It was an SLKR team with
Oh, really?
Hux and KRU, and then the two Night Sisters.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was wondering what
Which,
this was because I was like,
yeah, I know you.
they said a Night Sister team. I was like,
No, it worked very well. I have my Bo-Katan set as the weakest, and I have the 20% TM Datacron here.
same here.
And because Hux is doesn't stop TM unless it's a full first order team. So
Yeah,
putting Hux
that's
and the two Night Sisters is whatever.
yeah, that's smart.
So Bo-Katan went and they didn't take a single turn.
Ooh,
And then I
nice.
realized that my recording hadn't started.
Do you
And
think it would have
again,
worked with armor instead of BAM? Was BAM integral?
no, Bam didn't do anything. I
Okay.
just put armor on. I think I used armor versus SLKR versus Lord Vader.
Yeah, because I'm
I
I'm
could have,
bringing Maul on offense for the first time, and I have armor instead of BAM. Otherwise, the same setup because I realized like Imperial troopers just roll over it, so it's not that
yeah.
great on defense. But on offense, it looks like it dominates gas, and as what you just did, it can do other stuff. So I want to try it out.
And actually, I saw the exact same team. It might have been armor instead of Bam, but I think it was Bam. Take out a Ray Ben JTR Bros team
Hmm.
as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I
Basically, in
wouldn't
the
test
opening,
test that.
actually, it looked surprisingly easy. It was a 63 or a 64 because they went first and they take so many teams that Ray goes directly into alt as their first move.
Yeah.
And everybody had been in damage. Well, not, I think they put Ray and Ben and Finn into damage immunity. So as soon as Ray came out of alt, they killed Ray and Ben,
Yeah.
and then it just cleaned up on the rest of the team. Surprisingly, I was surprised how smooth it is.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I could see that. I'm pretty set on Starkiller versus that Ray team, and I've seen like a lot of GAC history where Maul loses on Ray, so I'm pretty scared of it. But this setup I
Yeah,
have with Ray,
Starkiller is
with old
great.
Ben's slowest or weakest, it seems pretty good.
That's great. Actually, I haven't seen that yet. I haven't watched your videos this season. Oh no, I saw your
Yeah, I mean, just it's the
both your
most recent one. You can see
first
that
and
it's like I integrated into the thumbnail too. It's the first
okay,
battle
cool.
too, so you can just check that out.
Yeah, I haven't watched match 3 yet for sure. So this was a very surprising failure to me. So I'm really
Hmm.
curious what you think, where I messed up. I think I didn't swipe at the beginning to put taunt back on, but I'm not
Okay.
sure if that would have made that much of a difference.
Yeah, I don't
So this is
know.
the Lord Vader team where Maul is going to get his 5 stacks right away, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
AoE armor shred.
and yeah, this is my SLKR one, which my SLKR is also modded for a lot of offense. Pretty
Yeah.
fast, but not a speed set. It's an offense set. Um, Decent
Yeah.
stats on the Datacron, but like nothing,
I yeah, I
nothing
think you're
amazing.
really losing out on your level 6 for not having damage immunity if you want to take Slicker versus Lord Vader in 5v5, and also the level 3. I don't know if the tenacity is like game changing, but it did seem to help for me. But that one it is good too for when he's alone. You just need him to be alone later rather than sooner. So
Yeah,
yeah, I'm
that's what
interested to see how
basically
this went.
I use this Datacron primarily in well, I got the most use out of it in threes during season 4 when it
Hmm.
was 4 and 5 together.
Yeah. Him
But
versus Lord Vader in threes was pretty nice.
yeah, so here I could have swiped. So DACA first, no problem.
Yeah.
DACA second time, okay.
I mean,
So this
it's like,
is
I don't know if your decision here mattered because it just was so rough right out the gate. I would have stunned
it was
too,
way
but I don't know. Maybe that would have helped. But like, Darth Vader went on Merciless Massacre, so he's gonna get around that anyway. Yeah, it just
yeah.
with that extra turn meter, it looks like pretty much dead on arrival.
And it was so close to having armor take a turn. If I had a turn, it would have been fine.
Yeah.
Well, just with 2 stacks even. She had 3 at that point, but
Mm-hmm.
I really thought she would have taken a turn.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
man, this was brutal. And this is one of the places where, like, if you had gone with a build like yours with health stacking, or a health build in general on Slicker, I would have been fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I switched to that just for Lord Vader, and I'm just keeping it because if I use Supreme Lair Kylo, usually he has enough offense anyway. Um, and the
Yeah, it's
health
just a matter
really
of
helps
time.
against Jabba for sure. Yeah, no, that was tough. I don't know if you were had 3% more ult charge here and were able to pop it once, maybe it could have gone different. But I don't know. They had a lot of, or they're not taking that much damage at this point from you.
No, no, if I really, yeah.
Yeah,
So here's
rip.
Afra versus Jabba. If I had, yeah, one more critical hit, yeah, it was very close, but I don't think I could have done that much. It was like ahead of time if I had different mods,
Yeah,
or my armor was a little bit faster or something like that. It would have been
yeah,
okay. So this is Afra versus Jabba. A very weird, not that weird. In Territory Wars, this is sort of popular, but I don't think it's a great Jabba cron because you're
hmm,
just trying to give like Skiff, Lando, and Boosh more damage.
yeah,
But I think the defensive setups are a little bit better.
yeah.
This is my Afra team. I run with HK and IG88, and HK is set to be the weakest.
Oh, nice. Gets that tenacity down on everyone.
Yeah, the nice thing too is that it's or it cannot be countered.
Yeah,
So that's sort
yeah,
of
that's
nice
huge for
versus
him.
for Jabba.
Well, that's a nice use for him. I haven't used HK in ages.
I'm just happy I can use him honestly
Do
because
you
I don't
have
use him for anything else.
and do you have loyalty to the Maker Zeta?
I have all of the Zetas, yeah.
Oh no. Okay, so like when they get protection up, he's preventing turn meter, right?
I think only if Darth Revan is the leader.
Oh really? Hmm.
Well, you make me curious. Let me take a look real quick. HK47. This is slow.
Yeah, I'm looking at it too.
Yeah, it has to be Darth Revan as the
Okay.
leader.
All right. Never mind. Yeah, I said
But
that.
that would have been
It would have
that
been
would have been
nice.
nice for sure.
I've never since I don't have Afra. Is this pretty smooth? Do you
In
find or is
GAC, this is a very, very easy counter.
dang? I
It's
hate that
great.
because I finally got Jabba, and now everyone good I'm facing has this like easy counter to it.
Well, if you have the level 6 where basics gives scoundrels 100% TM, I would say that makes it very easy. Without that, instead of being like a 95% counter, it's probably like an 80, a 75, 80% counter. But
Gotcha.
it's still pretty reliable. There's just not much that the team can do if you're at all careful with Afra
Yeah.
and you don't do a lot of like targeting of Boosh or something like that when she has counter.
Hmm.
But you just take so many turns. Like you need the Datacron.
Yeah.
Without the Datacron, it's
Yeah. But yeah, most people have it. It's like a must-have in this set.
Yeah,
So people that can, they just go for it.
it's a very fun team to use, though.
Yeah. I'm running low on time, so let's just run the rest of the video straight.
Okay.
Um, but yeah,
I
this
think
is
there's one or two.
one or two what?
Go ahead. I was going to say one or two fights where I can probably like skip through to the end because there's not really that much interesting in them,
Gotcha.
so we can speed up a bit.
Yeah, but no, this is
Okay.
yeah, that was super smooth. 64. It's crazy. I'm always dropping at least some banners on him.
So this fight ends up in a timeout, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I saw that
Um,
coming.
I was actually hoping it wouldn't end up that way because my Datacron here is the, protection over time when you apply dots, and a lot of crit damage, like 60 or something crit damage.
Yeah.
So I was hoping um, once I ramped a little bit, it would be faster.
Yeah, you pretty much gotta auto this the whole time, I think, to not time out
Yeah,
because the decisions aren't very key in this. Like he's just spamming specials, target like you can just target people while it's an auto.
yeah. No,
But
I
like that
definitely should
crit
have autoed from the
immunity,
beginning.
yeah, and that crit immunity really hurts. But I liked in principle what you were doing, like bringing one dark side Ufu to reduce your damage from light side Ufus. Because I think that's where a lot of people lost in 3v3 is they weren't bringing a dark side Ufu, and then they're like taking more damage from the ult. You know?
Yeah. And here I put auto at 4 minutes. I think if I had saved 10 more seconds by putting auto at the very beginning, I might have not timed out.
Yeah,
Um, just got a little
yeah.
notification. Our meeting, anyway, is ending in 10 minutes.
Okay, that's fine.
So
Just
9 minutes
let me
left
know when
here. Yeah,
it's
we should be
about
fine.
to close up so I can say give the warning for the video.
Yeah.
But yeah, this
I mean, if,
uh, I
I
think like Bit Dynasty actually had his Lord Vader die once, and I was surprised.
oh, really?
Yeah, because they
Well,
like
here again, go ahead.
like they timed the dispel right perfect, and then I guess he had reduced health, and then the ultimate hit him.
Yeah. I was honestly getting a bit cocky here because most of the team's relic levels are pretty low.
Mm-hmm.
And I think even I forget where relic level Ben is. I think he's like 7 or 8 or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I honestly wasn't that afraid of dying. I thought this would be like a walk in the park and I'd finish with 45 seconds left or something like that. Um, obviously, that did not end up being the case.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he
we
really
could,
needs. Once he gets a few ults, then he just starts ripping through.
yeah.
Um,
I'm gonna.
keep it rolling. But do you know how it works? So like his ultimate says he gets mastery from all his teammates when he goes into ult, but if everyone's dead, he still is ramping up a lot. So does he draw mastery from dead teammates, or
He
does
doesn't
it count?
draw from dead teammates. He just keeps on ramping his own. So he ramps, I don't know, 20%, 10%, something like that, instead of 20%, 30%, 40%.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. The way it's written is kind of confusing to me, but I don't want to dive into that. I
It
just did a
definitely is.
video talking about mastery, and like, there's a lot of things that like, even if I spent a lot of time looking into it, I would really need to see under the hood to know what's going on, and that's one of them. Like how Lord Vader's mastery ramping works. I wish they just displayed the math in that little blue icon above them, like for increased mastery. I wish it just you click on it and see how much you had
The
increased. That would be
number.
very helpful.
Yeah, for sure. That's one of the reasons actually why I think Afra is nice, because you actually see her siphon numbers above her head as the fight goes on. So
Yeah,
you have like some metric of seeing what's going on.
yeah.
That would
Well,
be
yeah.
amazing.
Her and yeah SLKR they have the siphon, but even then, like what happens after that, like Because the mastery affects things only by how much stats they're modifying, and it goes through that like
Yeah,
flat mastery number. So like, I wish I could see that.
that would be amazing.
Oh, this is getting down to the wire. I thought you might be able to do it, but you probably could have left it on auto here
This,
too.
yeah, well, what actually cost me here is the tenacity on this Datacron that she had. I think it was something like 120%.
Yeah,
So the healing immunity from SLKRs or from
didn't
Lord
land.
Vader's middle was not landing on her, and she was getting back up to 100 every time she came out of her ult.
Yeah, yeah,
However, this
that's
was
painful.
a pretty easy cleanup. I think I
Yeah.
got it with Geos.
So yeah, this match you're running right now, this was interesting. Um, you brought Malgus on offense.
Yeah, I actually use Malgus on offense a lot. I have never done this mirror. I've never even seen this mirror before. And I'm sure I misplayed a lot. And I also brought in Assassin,
Yeah.
and I did my math wrong. So this was my screw up. I thought that my Assassin would go before Darth Revan. It obviously did not.
So what was your
So
plan with Assassin? Because she can't give out turn meter with Malik there. And like, Malik prevents enemy Sith from getting bonus turn meter. So I don't know if anyone was getting any turn meter in this
well, you know
match.
what? Until right now, I did not recall that. So never mind. Terrible idea.
Yeah,
That wouldn't have worked well.
that was their nerf to stop Palpatine against Malik
Yeah.
back in the day.
In my mind, I really think of it as an anti-Palpatine mechanic, not an anti-Sith mechanic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So this is a great, yeah, good learning experience.
that's yeah. I was like, he must have
I
forgot
feel
about
even
that
stupider now.
because Sith Assassin is pointless.
I totally did. That's pretty funny. Yeah, I think it would
Nice.
have been probably easier to bring in most likely Marauder
Yeah,
just for some damage with all the debuffs on the board.
yeah, he gets great damage.
I'm
How
really
much
not a big
time we
fan
got
of.
on the meeting?
We have 4 minutes and 40 seconds,
Okay,
and I
that's
think
good to
this is
finish this up.
the last fight.
Yeah. So, um, what are you able to? What do you usually use your Malgus against on offense?
Uh, JML, Radis, C, like GLY is JML or C most commonly.
Okay.
And that's primarily it. What other GLs do I use? I mean, works pretty good against Starkiller as well, but that's rare on defense these days. Yeah, JML and C, and it's like you can use him to solo or get high banners on quite a few teams
Yeah.
because it doesn't necessarily need to be by himself.
Yeah.
But if you go in just with like DR and Basti, mostly DR, frankly, you're immune to ability block, which is the only real thing that's a danger to him in like non-GL teams.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's
And
pretty good use of him.
Yeah. And I think here I actually could have won a bit earlier in the fight. I won't go back. But I went for Basti instead of Talon. And my DR died soon after, and Talon ability blocked me. So I think I should have gone for Talon in that case, because Basti would have been easier to take out. But here I'm also at a bit of a disadvantage because my Malik is probably should be remodded. He's modded for speed now rather than just a slow, beefy guy.
Mm-hmm.
So if he was modded a bit beefier, I think he would have survived a elite by
Yeah, probably.
Malgus.
Yeah, this is a tough timeout you got here. You got it down to just Malgus though, right?
Yeah, it was just Malgus versus Malgus, sort of
Yeah.
a slap fight at the end.
Yeah.
But I wasn't really that concerned at this point because I had dropped like 3 fights, and I didn't think my opponent would be. Yeah. So I was just trying to test it out and see how it went.
Cool. All right, well, we're getting pretty low on time. I think our meeting's gonna cut out soon here, but this was fun. It was great talking to you about your GAC and decision points and everything, and I think we both learned something from each other.
Yeah, don't bring assassin when there's Malik on the field.
Yeah. All right, well, I'm gonna wrap it up here. Thanks, guys, for watching, and we'll be doing this again sometime in the future. Thanks.